Now our special reflecting rules continue with the y-axis. If we use this as our reflecting line, if we use our rule by sight and we say, well, M is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, M prime would go right there. If M is at negative 3, 1, where did M prime go? It went to 3, 1. What happens or changes from this coordinate to this coordinate? Well, then we can see that our rule is going to be T of xy is T prime of, this time my x's are opposite and my y stays the same. So let's see if that holds. D is at negative 6, 3. So according to this, it's going to go to positive 6, 3, positive 6, 3. And H is at negative 4, 5. So the opposite of the x is positive 4, 5. And that indeed is the exact same figure reflected across the y-axis. Now, it's not quite as clear what the cheat would be if we are reflecting across the line y equals x. Now, first of all, where is that line? Well, it has 0, 0 as its y-intercept plus 0 and a slope of 1 over 1. Up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. It's this 1-to-1 diagonal line right here. Now, it's not quite as clear to count how many units is this and where would it be over here. So we're going to rely on the rule. And the rule says the original will become T prime of yx. So I take my original x and y and I'm going to switch places. So if h is at negative 4, 5, d is at negative 6, 3, and m is at negative 3, 1, I want to think about h prime, if I flip-flop, is going to be at 5, negative 4. And m prime, if I flip-flop them, will be at 1, negative 3, and d prime will be at 3, negative 6. Now let's go to our graph and go 5, negative 4, and m prime is at 1, negative 3, kind of in the area where we were, 3, negative 6 for d prime, and you can see that my mirror image picture did show up, and it was in the vicinity but not exactly of my guesstimate. So I have recreated that figure across that line. Now, y equals negative x is the same slope of 1 except in the other direction line. And so my reflecting line is right here. Now the rule here is that you take your original and t prime will become the opposite of y, the opposite of x. So I'm going to flip their positions and their signs. So h is still at negative 4, 5, m is at negative 3, 1, and d is at negative 6, 3. So h prime, if I flip-flop 5 and negative 4, but then I flip-flop their signs, I'll end up with negative 5, positive 4. M prime is going to be negative 1, positive 3. And d prime will be negative 3, positive 6. So I'm flipping both position and sign. When I go to graph this, I have negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. H prime goes on the other side of the line, just like I would expect. Negative 1, positive 3 for M prime. And D prime is negative 3, positive 6. It gets a little messy, but there's my figure. And it overlaps because if you think about folding it on that reflecting line, that is exactly what would happen. So go ahead and give the practice questions on reflections a try and tune in for the next transformation of this lesson.